Sure, I'm sure he has nothing useful to say, but something was fishy about that trial from the beginning. It wasn't just me either. All the detectives thought so. What do you mean, fishy? Some of the facts reported were inconsistent with the evidence we found. For example, the murder weapon. The murder weapon? You mean that switchblade knife with the broken tip? That was Joe Doc's, all right. But in the initial autopsy report, a question was raised. A question? The blade of the knife was not a perfect match with the wound the victim sustained. What does that mean? It means there's a good chance that knife was not the murder weapon. However, in the report that was finally submitted, that possibility had been erased. Could the facts have been concealed with forged evidence? That case left behind scars on all of us. The scars that the SL9 incident left behind? I got the looks, but he got the brains. He was one of the best prosecutors around. I don't know, if you're into twinks, I think his brother was the cuter one. I had just made detective when it went down. It was our first case together. And your last. How old was he, your brother? He was 27 at the time. He was awarded the highest honor that very day. The highest honor? You mean the King of Prosecutors? I knew it. What are you looking at me like that for? That's an honor for a prosecutor. Mr. Marshall must have really been close with his brother. The day the SL9 incident took place, that wasn't the same day as... Of course it was. Why not? That's right, it was the day the evidence of the evidence transfer. Interesting. Is it, though? It was drizzling that morning, and by nightfall there was thunder. I can't believe 2 years have gone by already. I tried to steal the evidence so the case wouldn't die. Apparently someone tried to stop you. Detective Goodman was murdered, and the evidence locker was empty. There was something going on behind the scenes in that case. We all knew that later. Every detective involved in that investigation, save one, was taken care of. Ms. Starr was fired, and I was demoted and boxed away in a tiny room. What about Detective Goodman? If they did something to him too, the commissioners would get suspicious. No, they were careful enough not to be too obvious. They? Who are you talking about? Don't get upset, Bambina. I mean Damon Gant and Lana Skye. The investigation lead, Damon Gant, and his second-in-command, Lana Skye. There wasn't a person on the force who hadn't heard of that duo. That case was the biggest step in both of their careers. After the case ended, Lana transferred to the prosecutor's office, right? Yeah, Damon Gant, the new chief of police, arranged for that to happen. She's never been the same since she left. Everyone who knew her said so. Chief Prosecutor Scott was totally different when she was a detective. Now that he mentions it, Emma said something like that too. Tell me what happened to my sister. Sorry, Bambina, but her secret is too well guarded. I never found out. Lana's secret, it all started 2 years ago. So there you have it. That's my story. Did you enjoy it, partner? It was certainly enlightening. There's one thing for sure I found out in court today. That boy Edgeworth isn't my enemy. He was the one who used falsified evidence to get a guilty verdict. But someone else was the one who gave him that evidence and planned everything. That someone is Damon Gant. Don't believe me? Well, I don't blame you. I won't even be a patrolman after today. Too bad I won't be around to work with you when you become a real scientific investigator. Adios, Bambina. Bye, Felicia, is what he just said. But he said it in Spanish. Okay, where the hell are we going now? I swear to God, if we run into any more people, just let me take on Gant already. No one's here today, not even Ms. Starr. Thank God.
Everyone's probably busy looking into what exactly went down in the evidence room. That must be where the detectives are.
But we proved in court today that on the day of the crime, no one was murdered in the evidence room at 5:15 p.m.
Yeah, I thought we were finally making some headway in our case. But instead it looks like we just ended up making...
But instead it looks like we just ended up making Lana look even more guilty. Yeah, good job with that, Phoenix. Let's prove that nobody but Lana could have committed the crime. Good job.
Hey, get there, Lana.
I've got to find all the answers by tomorrow. High Prosecutor's Office, room 1202.
Mr. Edgeworth isn't here.
Maybe he's being questioned by an inquiry committee. He took a real beating in court today.
Yeah, with Lana admitting to falsifying evidence 2 years ago. I guess we'll just have to come back later.
Oh, yeah. All right. Then we go back to... Criminal Affairs Department. This place is always pretty empty, but today it's deserted.
That must mean everyone's busy solving crimes. Oh, if you're looking for the others, they're all in the conference room.
Thanks. Wow, he actually talked to us. With the chief prosecutor saying that what she did and the decision about what to do about Mr. Edgeworth, not to mention our statement to the media in tomorrow's trial, there's more of a chaos going on than Thanksgiving and Christmas put together. I think festive is the word usually used for those.
Sir, we'd like to have a look around Chief Gant's office.
Just use the connecting hallway to the other building and take the elevator to the top floor.
Really? You mean it's okay for us to go in there? I mean, we aren't police officers or anything.
Hey, you're right. You can't go in there. It's off limits. Now I see where Detective Gumshoe gets his unique charm. Yeah, after all, they're related, like everybody else in this place.
Well, what are we waiting for? Let's head to the chief's office.
Yeah, sure. Why the hell not? What the fuck? Because this isn't a final boss room or anything. Whoa, where am I? This is the final boss, Phoenix. You didn't realize that before?
In the chief's office, silly. At least that's what it said on the door.
Check out that organ. That's real, isn't it? That's what she said. Hey,
I used to take organ lessons in kindergarten.
We're gonna leave that one on the table, okay, guys?
They used to call me Little Miss Bach. I thought I was a genius until they tried teaching me notes. I never could remember where C was.
Oh, it's you two. Chief Gant. He put that paper he was reading in his desk. So, Righto, have you been swimming lately? No, I haven't. I've been kind of busy lately. I can appreciate that. I've had my hands full too with Mr. Marshall's misconduct and Lana's provocative statement. Provocative statement? Oh, you mean about the forged evidence? 2 years have passed since that incident. My, how time flies. That's where, I'm pretty sure that's where he was going with it, and Phoenix is just too fucking stupid to pick up with on it. Like, as soon as he was like, have you been swimming lately? I was like, this is gonna be a threat. This is a threat right now. And then he just didn't drop the punchline. See that big picture on the wall over there? That's a picture of Lana, Neil, and me. So this is Mr. Marshall's brother, Prosecutor Neil Marshall. We took it to commemorate our work together. Something's not right with this picture. Oh, god damn it. What's wrong with the picture? Can anyone tell me? There's actually 2 things that are noticeably obvious about the picture. There's 2 things that you guys should notice. Where's Goodman? Ah, fuck Goodman. Goodman's dead. We don't care about him. There's 2 interesting things about the picture. The pot, that's one of them. What's the other? I have a feeling the pot is irrelevant. I think it's a red herring. I think it's the other thing that's super relevant. The King of Prosecutors award is a shield, but in this picture, it's a sword and shield. I can't quite seem to put my finger on it, though. A broken sword and shield, no less. Anyway, I'd like to reminisce all day, but there are matters that need my attention. I'm going to lock up here, so let's go out together.
Oh, but this office, it was a crime scene 2 years ago, wasn't it?
The shield was always broken because he breaks defenses. That case has long since been over. There's no need to investigate it anymore. All the same, we'd still like to have a look around. Perhaps you didn't hear me. I said there's no need to investigate it anymore. Correct. But on Edgeworth's, there is no sword. And as we know by the base, it is the same one that's been there forever. What's important is the break in the sword also just happens to have almost an identical break as this knife. Now hurry up and get out. I have a meeting to attend.
Looks like we aren't welcome.
Nope, you're not. I want Maya back. Bring me back Maya. It seems that case isn't over with yet after all. I believe it's the same one.
What do you mean?
Chief can't deny our request to search the crime scene. That means there must be a reason he doesn't want us looking around in there.
You mean like a clue?
There's got to be a way we can get inside the chief's office. Let's go looking for our good friend and pal. Hey, pal. Speak of the devil and the devil appears. What's up, Dick? Aren't you supposed to be in a meeting? I'm, taking a breather. My feet hurt.
From sitting so long?
Actually, from serving everyone coffee. Sounds like Detective Gumshoe's still out of the loop. Say, have either of you seen Mr. Edgeworth? Edgeworth? No, why do you ask? He's under fire from both the police department and the prosecutor's office. It's almost like the battles between you two in court. That sounds serious.
Is it because of what my sister said?
That's basically what it all boils down to. That falsified evidence 2 years ago. Now Mr. Edgeworth has the whole world after his blood.
Yikes.
But why would Edgeworth be blamed? It's not like he knew the evidence was forged. Lana Skye is the guilty party here, isn't she? Regardless, a prosecutor is responsible for the evidence they present in court. Not only that, but as you know, there's been a lot of rumors going around about Mr. Edgeworth. His amazing talent as a prosecutor has kept him safe from those who don't like him. But now with this...
Are there really so many people who hate him?
I mean, he's not even nice to me and we're sleeping together, Emma, so... In our world, only those with talent rise to the top. Mr. Edgeworth not only has that, but he's young. There's no better recipe I know of for making enemies. Hey, Dick! Keep up the good work! Yes, sir. Let's go out for lunch again sometime. My treat. Yes, sir. You gotta take me back to that joint sometime, okay, Dick? Yes, sir. It seems you don't have any problems with enemies. Yeah, well, I'm careful not to stick out. I am neither young nor talented. Anyway, I'm a bit worried about him. Under all this pressure, I'm afraid Mr. Edgeworth just might crack. Actually, I took a look at the file earlier while the coffee was brewing. He seems genuinely concerned about Edgeworth. Well, did you find out anything? The only evidence Dark left behind was during his final attack. His final attack? You mean... when he killed Prosecutor Marshall who was trying to protect some girl?
Me.
It seems Detective Gumshoe never realized Emma was the girl. That's when he left the most incriminating evidence of all.
Well, what was it?
Oh, let's see. I think it had something to do with the murder weapon. Oh, I forget. Look, it's all written in somewhere in here, okay? His powers of recollection never fail to impress.
Maybe we should show him the murder weapon. It might jog his memory.
Joe Dark was 42 at the time of the crime. He was just your run-of-the-mill businessman. A businessman? What made him take to serial killing? One day on his way home from work, he hit someone with his car.
with his car, so it was an accident?
An accident, yes, but it transformed him into an animal.
An animal?
He killed a man that witnessed the accident, then he killed a lady who saw the second crime. A kid walked by just then, so he killed him too. Then when the jogger came upon the scene and was killed as well, finally he turned himself in. Seems he was a pretty careless animal. Of course, this is all conjecture. There wasn't a single shred of evidence. So he turned himself in. Yes, but in the middle of questioning, he fled and murdered his final victim. Prosecutor Marshall. That crime was witnessed by someone too, but luckily Dark was arrested on the spot. It's a good thing that last witness wasn't killed. That last witness, aka Emma. Alright, they want us to show him the murder weapon. Being a smartass. Hey, that's it. That's the King of Prosecutors award that Mr. Edgeworth got the other day. Were you at the award ceremony, Detective Gumshoe? Of course, pal. I got an award for diligence myself. Ah, congratulations.
I was wondering why is the award...
Wait, we've already had this conversation, haven't we?
Why is it broken?
Well, there's a reason. I'll tell you what it is later. It's later, Gumshoe. We had this conversation 4 weeks ago. Apparently he's forgotten. About this. Hey, is that? It has a tag attached to it with the label SL9 incident on it. I believe this would be the broken murder weapon you were speaking of. What are you doing with that? Ever since that case was closed, that knife's been locked away in a locker.
On the day Detective Goodman was murdered, this suddenly disappeared from the locker and was found in Mr. Edgeworth's car muffler.
That's it. Now I remember what that incriminating piece of evidence was. When you showed me that knife, it all came back to me.
Well, what is it, Detective? Quick, before you forget again.
This knife, it was Joe Dark's, wasn't it? That's the right. We traced it back to the store he bought it at. Plus it had his fingerprints on it too.
But no one actually witnessed him using it to murder anyone, right?
That's where his luck ran out. When you take a good look at the knife, you'll see it's broken.
You don't have to take a good look to notice that.
Yeah, well anyway. Take a guess where the broken off tip of the knife was found. That's what did him in.
Where was it?
The victim, Neil Marshall, was carrying it inside his own body. It was found deep inside the stab wound. Did it match Dark's knife? You bet, down to the last fiber. I don't think metal knives have fibers. But okay.
That's pretty conclusive.
Neil's autopsy report. Stabbed in the back, died from punctured heart and lung. A knife tip was in the wound. How are you so bad at using a knife that you managed to break the blade on soft tissue? Alternatively, how shitty of a knife are you using to murder people with? Well, there you have it in a nutshell. That's all I know. Can I ask you one more thing? What is it? If it's money you need, you should ask Chief Gant. I mean, typically that's how it happens. If it gets stuck, it gets stuck in bone. That's usually the way blades break off. It's not money, but it does concern the chief. His office is a crime scene, right? It's where Prosecutor Neil Marshall was murdered.
The chief's out now and his office is locked. But we'd like to have a look around if that's okay.
Oh, well, any detective's ID card can unlock the door.
What, really?
But if I let a civilian in there, I'd be charged with breach of trust.
Breach of trust?
Simply put, I'd be canned. Oh. Sorry, pal. I don't plan on getting fired because of you.
How about this ID card? It was Detective Goodman's.
That won't work either. The data was deleted the day he died.
Oh.
So in other words, Gumshoe is our only chance of getting into that office.
I wonder if there's something I could show him that would make him change his mind.
Do we not have the temporary ID anymore? Maybe show him this. Let me share a little advice with you as a detective. If you don't have a clue, keep your mouth shut. I'll keep that in mind. Okay, so he doesn't know shit. The huge. Fuck it, we're gonna show him everything. I've been studying up on those files. There's nothing wrong with Mr. Edgeworth's presentation. Don't think people are accusing him of injustice. I, for one, ain't buying it, pal.
You looking into the case for Mr. Edgeworth?
Yeah, it was a pretty big deal while it was going on, you know. After all, a serial killer was on the loose. But Lana was pretty clear in her confession. She forged evidence in order to prove Jedark's guilty. Okay. You don't know shit about that one. Well, we should read it. Why not? Single stab wound, piercing heart and lung. Died from blood loss in under 10 minutes. Weapon found in wound was missing tip. We're gonna go through it all, fuck it.
You know Officer Marshall?
Of course I do, he was like a mentor to me. When I first started out, he even gave me a small cactus.
Really?
He said, Dick, should listen to all your troubles.
Note to self, Detective Gumshoe talks to a cactus.
Hard to believe he's just a patrolman now. Someone ought to trade places with him. What? Why are you looking at me like that?